Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Mr Speaker, can I begin by thanking the Speaker who's just resumed her seat for her generous comments and helpful insights. They were greatly appreciated. This bill marks another milestone heralding the advent of a new era for the Waikato River, in which the Crown, iwi and local authorities will work side by side to bring about the restoration and protection of the health and well-being of the Waikato River for present and for future generations. The particular purpose of the bill is to give effect to co-governance arrangements agreed with Ngati, Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi, and it's a companion to the Waikato Tainui Raupatu Claims Waikato River Settlement Act of 2010. The agreements with those iwi reflect a contemporary treaty relationship and do not settle historical Treaty of Waitangi claims. The agreement with Te Arawa River iwi is made pursuant to an undertaking made by the Crown in the 2008 Deed of Settlement with the affiliate Te Arawa iwi Hapu. Mr Speaker, I want to acknowledge and pay tribute to the representatives of those iwi who have given their support to this groundbreaking initiative and who have worked so hard to ensure the co-governance framework for the river is one that all the iwi connected with the Waikato River can participate in with the Crown. From March 2008, when the Guardians Establishment Committee was formed to develop the vision and the strategy for the river, Raukawa were at the table through Stephanie O'Sullivan, Te Arawa River iwi were at the table through Roger Pikia, and Ngati Tuwharetoa too through Dean Stepping. They joined the representatives of Waikato Tainui, Maniapoto and the Crown, including local mayors, and demonstrated that co-governance can and does indeed bring about some very positive outcomes. The river is deeply significant to Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi. Their respective relationships with the river are ancient and central to their culture and traditions and to the way they see themselves and the world. The river system is the longest in the country, with the second largest catchment comprising 14,300 square kilometres. About 383,000 people live in the catchment and produce about 9% of the gross national product of this land. The river and its catchment play a significant strategic role for New Zealand as a source of energy, the location of significant primary industry and recreational activities. There are important values and relationships between the Waikato River and the people and communities, including private and public interests associated with the river and its environs. Different people in the community value the river in different ways, but the scoping study currently in progress has found that many of the attributes that support health and well-being values, such as clear and safe water, healthy ecosystems, engagement with and respect for the river, are consistently shared across the whole community. Securing the longer-term sustainability and health of the river for present and future generations is vital. A new era of co-governance and respect of the river is a most effective and inclusive way to go about achieving that goal. The Crown has a responsibility in terms of the principles of the treaty to provide for the relationship of Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi and their culture and traditions with the Waikato River, which is taonga to them. The co-governance framework and the arrangements with those iwi provide legal mechanisms for Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi to participate in the governance and the management of the river. The provisions of this bill provide clear direction and certainty about the co-governance of the river. The framework will streamline, improve and coordinate governance and management arrangements for the Waikato River, commensurate with its strategic importance to New Zealand's social, cultural and economic well-being. At the signing of the deed with Raukawa at the beautiful Whakamaru venue, George Rangatutia spoke of his dream for a healthy river. When Te Arawa River iwi signed it, the historic Orake Korako, Roger Pikia spoke of an end to exclusion and commended the Crown for its courage in providing more than words to the concept of partnership enshrined in the treaty. Mr. Speaker, these are words of optimism focused on the future. They are not about pessimism in the past. The past is beyond our ability to change, but the future is ours to make. With the arrangements enshrined in this bill, I think we have laid a stronger and positive foundation for healthier relationships and a productive, healthier national environment. The cornerstones of the co-governance arrangements are the vision and strategy, which will be the primary direction-setting document for the river, the Waikato River Authority, which is the co-governance entity, the Waikato River Cleanup Trust, which will be accessible to the community on a contestable basis, and importantly, sir, the involvement of iwi commissioners on those resource consent matters that directly affect the river. Local authorities and relevant agencies will continue with their existing roles and management functions in relation to the river. The bill does not change these roles and functions, but it does contain provisions that will result in a hands-on role for iwi working jointly with local authorities and agencies. Joint management agreements, an integrated river management plan, and new relationships with the Ministry of Fisheries and the Department of Conservation through accords and jointly developed regulations are good examples of what co-management will mean in a practical sense for iwi. As the Honourable Tariana Turia noted, this bill complements the Waikato River settlement with Waikato Tainui. It's important to try to achieve as much coordination as possible and to have the respective pieces of legislation that together make up the co-governance framework for the Waikato River, and that they come into effect within similar timeframes. Can I, in closing, sir, emphasise that I believe it's in everyone's interests, including local authorities and the community, to avoid a disjointed implementation of co-governance and co-management for the Waikato River. Not that I believe, sir, that that is going to be happening, because I think the evidence is there already that regional government, local government, iwi and other members of the community are going to work together for the benefit of the river. So, sir, I commend those who have made such a valuable contribution to the development of this legislation. I have mentioned those representatives of iwi who have played their part. Can I also mention in particular Peter Buckley of Environment Waikato, who has played a significant role, and like him, I'm looking forward to seeing how this legislation is going to play out. I believe that it is going to be a very successful venture.
Honourable Shane Jones.